Hey everybody, Taylor Lyles with the Greenville Home Builders Association, and this is the Think Big podcast. Good morning and good afternoon. Thank you for pulling in and listening to the Think Big podcast. I'm super excited to bring you this episode. We have Greg Gambrell, who is with GBS. I'm going to let him kind of do a deep dive. But Greg, thank you for taking time. Thank you for joining us today. Tell the people who are listening and watching kind of who you are, what you do.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for having me. As Taylor said, Greg Gambrell. I'm the Market Vice President of Sales for USLBM. The divisions that I cover is GBS Building Supply, Jennings Builder Supply, and Professional Builder Supply out of Greenville. It's a mouthful, but we can get into that a little bit later, kind of describe how our market dynamics have changed, but that's it.
How long have you been with GBS?
Since 2012.
Okay. But you've been in the market before that?
Yeah, I've been in the building industry since 96, 97.
Okay.
In some form or fashion, yeah. On the supply side. And
I would be disappointed if I didn't mention this to the viewers and the listeners. You are a current board member of the Home Builders Association of Greenville. You've been a board member for a little while. Mm-hmm. How long have you been involved in the HBA?
Gosh, a long time. I don't know the exact date, but prior life used to be very involved in the Spartanburg HBA years ago. The early 2000s, then kind of stepped away for a little bit, and then really from 2012 on, been involved with the Greenville HBA.
Well, we fully accept you here. We'll take Greg and GBS at the HBA of Greenville. Yeah. I'm super excited that you're a member, also one of our big sponsors for the Bridge Awards, golf tournaments, clay tournaments, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, we have fun. So.
We do have fun.
Yeah.
75 events kind of says that there's not a chance that you can't have fun.
That's right.
I love it. So, GBS, USLBMs, Jennings, Professional Building Supply. Mm-hmm. It is a large market, but each one of them kind of provide opportunities for different builders. So let's kind of talk about GBS's forefront on where they're going and who they go after versus Professional Builder Supply versus Jennings.
Yeah, so USLBM is a national company, and they go to market by basically acquiring locally owned companies like a GBS or a Jennings or a Professional. But the neat thing is they let you keep your local branding and keep your local management team, and they kind of operate in the background, helping provide some capital, some just resources that normally a small business couldn't tap into. So GBS is based out of Greenville, covers the upstate of South Carolina, then has one location in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And then Jennings has 4 locations in Western North Carolina. And then Professional Builder Supply has one location here in Taylor's, but then they have several other locations in the Eastern Carolinas, but we only deal with the one here. As far as market, we mainly cater to custom home builders and remodelers. We are open to the public for anybody just to walk in, any weekend warriors, but our niche is the professional contractor. And then on the professional builders side, they do a lot with your production builders, your national builders, your regional folks. So we have a good coverage over the whole market.
So Professional Builder Supply, just for people listening, you're talking about your D.R. Hortons, your Ryan Holmes, your Lennars. And yes. GBS is more focused towards your Heritage, your Con Construction, Carson Spears, mm-hmm. stuff like that.
Exactly.
Very cool. So you get to truly see it from several different sides and how a certain industry or certain segment of the industry can be impacted from the custom guys mm-hmm. going to $1 million+ houses, but also from the production standpoint. Kind of do a little bit of a deep dive on where you see the big difference. Have you seen a change this year with what y'all are putting out?
Mm-hmm. So like you said, we do get to see it from both sides, which is really good. Keeps us very involved with the market and kind of, we have a good pulse on what's going on with the market. Because a lot of times as your production builders ramp up, sometimes your custom builders will slow down a little bit and vice versa, depending on what the economy's doing. As far as this past year, it's been a pretty boring year, I would say, as far as market dynamics go. The pricing on building supplies leveled out after all the COVID, craziness that we had. So it was very welcome just to be able to forecast. Our customers are able to forecast, kind of have a good grasp on the cost to build. So that part has kind of been, when I say boring, it's actually been nice. The interesting part, though, has just been to kind of, we're also coming off that high of record-setting permits and starts and kind of back to more of a normalization in the market. So anytime, once you get up and play in that stratosphere of where we were sales-wise, you always are trying to get back there. So we have to remind ourselves that, a couple years ago when we were setting sales records, we were also selling OSB at, just unworldly prices. Now things have normalized and it's more like it should be. Yep. And it's really better for everybody, not only us, but for the consumer. It's better for the homeowner that's looking to build. So it's been, this year's kind of been nice in that regard. So we've kind of been able to catch our breath and just plan, regroup, and now concentrate on getting some strategies moving forward.
I think watching this industry kind of go through COVID, board pricing just go, I think pre-COVID, it was in the 300s, and it went up over 1,800, 1,000 linear board feet.
Yep.
I mean, that, from a builder standpoint, if you don't have an escalation clause in place, you're either dropping the contract or figuring out how to get out of it, or looking at Susie homeowner and saying, hey, we've got to renegotiate this. And I know that pinched a lot of builders. So hearing that it was a boring year, I enjoyed that. It hasn't really been a boring year at the association because it's been nonstop. Because people want to move here. And they need quality trade partners and suppliers like GBS and Professional Building Supply, even Jennings. So seeing that shift kind of level out has been healthy. What are y'all seeing for next year?
So we're hearing good things. We're constantly talking to our customers, trying to figure out what they have in their pipeline. And so, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum, I feel like now that the election is behind us, people are looking forward, whereas pre-election, people were kind of guessing like what's going to happen. And everybody had their own take on which outcome would affect them in whichever way. And now that it's just done and over with, I feel like the dust is settled and people are ready now to get back in and start investing in the market. And we're hearing lots of good things just about traffic picking up, phones ringing just over the last 2 weeks, getting more, people interested. I actually had a couple builders call us that plans we priced, year and a half, 2 years ago, the people are back in ready to start building now. So that's a good sign that it's going to be a good year. It's
definitely been interesting, especially post-election. I've had builders tell me, Taylor, kind of to echo your comment, Taylor, we've got cash deals, $3, $4, $5 million cash deals that have been on the back burner for 2+ years. And then day after the election, we're getting a phone call saying, hey, we're ready to move forward.
Yep.
And I think you saw that confidence in the market come back a little bit. And again, no matter what side you sit on, whether you're Republican, Democrat, moderate, whatever, you're seeing the market truly shift. I think the Dow day after election was up 1,400 or 1,800. I mean, those jumps truly show that people are willing to put money back into it. So I think going into 25, I think that you're going to see a huge increase. Yeah. Now, from what gets built, that's still kind of up to county council and planning, et cetera. But I think you're going to see this shift for more infill. I think you see a shift for luxury custom. So I think it's a big win, and especially having rates continue to drop. You've got your 10-year ARM down in the 5s again. Your 30-year locked in is hovering at 6.5 right now. I mean, you're seeing movement in the market, and you're seeing some of those pricing start to loosen up. So which is a strong sign.
Yeah.
The with USLBM kind of letting y'all run your own thing in a lack of a better word, anything that y'all are doing to kind of target more builders, who are y'all continuing to go after? Because now, in my mind, I'm not thinking that is Professional Building Supply delivering all that material to your D.R. Hortons, Lennar, stuff like that?
No, that's one advantage we have now. So we went from basically having 4 locations as GBS to now we have 9 in the market. So we're able to be a lot more efficient operationally. So just for instance, say you have a neighborhood being built in Anderson by D.R. Horton, and they place their order with Professional out of Taylor's. Instead of them having to plan on taking a shipment, an hour down the road, they can call up our Anderson store and, make the delivery quickly and efficiently. And we're able to do that everywhere now. We're all on the same computer system as a couple months ago, which that was a big, undertaking. But all share the same SKUs, all speaking the same language. So now it's just a matter of all just working together and really being able to serve the customer better. And that's kind of our market approach, and it always has been, even when we were just smaller as GBS. And I know what Professional built their business on and what Jennings. It's always been what value can we add to the customer, and especially with the custom builder market. It's a little harder to serve just because the product, the array of products are so vast because they're building custom homes. So they're not just pulling, a stock window or door off the shelf. They've got homeowners that are walking in with a house or Pinterest portfolio and say, this is what I want to build. And we always try to be that resource for them and help them get those products.
I can imagine one pretty big benefit, besides just having all those locations and having that diverse array of products, you also get to see some super cool and creative designs, use of materials, different materials. So are you seeing that?
Yeah, especially on the window and door side, the exterior envelope of the house. Everybody's going bigger with the glass. They want to truly see, especially where we live too, on the lakes and in the foothills of the mountains and even up in the mountains. People are buying property to bring the outside in. So what you're seeing is a lot of more modern looking windows where you have very narrow sight lines on the frame, less grids, just more glass, big doors that operate, to let the back porch become, instead of a outdoor back porch, it now becomes part of the house when you open these big multi-sliding or bifolding doors. Do a lot with like bar windows where you have a pass-through bar from the kitchen onto the outdoor porch with some gas strut operated windows. Just things over the last 10 years that they've developed on the window and door side is just, it really blows your mind when you see what some of these people are putting in their homes.
So from a let's get real for a second. Are you dumping money into marketing but barely seeing any results? Go Digital can help. Using their marketing matrix, they zero in on your target audience and engage them where it matters the most. Go Digital acts as your full-service marketing team, saving you the hassle and cost of building an entire in-house team or trusting random gurus you found on the internet. It is also important to note that they don't just serve home service businesses. They own one. They've been in your shoes. They know what works because they've lived it. Wondering why I know so much about them? It's because I've been a client for them over a year, and I couldn't be happier with the results. So if you're ready to start winning more leads for less, hit the link in the show notes and schedule a free 20-minute consultation today. Cutting edge technology is kind of the windows and doors truly what leads on bringing new change and bringing new features or design aspect or aesthetics.
Yeah, definitely. And then it also affects us operationally because we have to be able to deliver. And so, the days of, 10 years ago where you could just throw a bunch of vinyl windows in a box truck and have one or two guys deliver a window package Now we have to have equipment. Sometimes we'll send multiple trucks just to deliver one package. Got to be able to move the materials around with automation on the job site. You have to be able to receive it, warehouse it properly. So there's a lot that has changed in a very short period of time. But that windows and doors are probably where we've seen the most change. Another area is engineered wood, like your I-joists and LVLs. They're becoming more common. For a long time, your builders would still do a floor system with traditional 2x material, and now they're seeing the benefits of using engineered wood, being able to span, and your house plans have kind of made them do that because of these very open floor plans. You need longer spans, you need less deflection in the floors, and so the engineered wood is another area we've seen a lot of changes, a lot of growth.
You mean my floors aren't supposed to bounce on the second level with opening up that wall downstairs?
Not if they're designed properly. Yeah.
Now, from a builder standpoint, looking at GBS, y'all have in-house design as well? Mm-hmm. Yep. So you provide takeoffs, the whole 9 yards, I assume.
Right. So we'll provide a basic framing takeoff, just to calculate the materials used, but then we'll also do a very detailed engineer floor system design, tell you exactly where the point loads are transferring down, what size beams you need. And again, on these big windows and doors, if you have a wall of windows, there's got to be something there to support that wall. And so a lot of times our windows team is working with the engineered wood team to get that design right, to make sure, that wall of windows will stand up, especially if it's up on the cliffs on the side of a mountain and you have 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming through.
We don't necessarily need those coming down.
Yeah, exactly. So.
I've seen some of these houses, and you're 20, 30 feet tall of just pure glass, and it's absolutely stunning. But I guess I never fully processed through. Well, there's a lot more that goes into it from supporting that.
Yeah.
So that's wild. So meeting your customer where they need to be met is kind of what I'm gaining from the main benefit of GBS. It's kind of the way the association approaches new members coming in and events that we do. We try to meet our member exactly where they need to be, whether it's builder connections, whether it's developer connections, trade connections, whatever they are. The association is kind of taking the GBS perspective and implementing it there, and which we've seen some great growth, and you've been a part of the growth with the HBA. So we're super excited about that.
Definitely. And I think something the HBA does really well, which we do a lot at work, is really focus on the voice of the customer. We talk about it all the time. Like you said, meeting the customer where they want to be met, finding those pain points, figuring out ways to solve problems, and then not only on the customer side, but we look at the voice of customer internally. We're asking our associates that are the guys that are in the lumberyard pulling the material, hey, if we move this material over here to this side of the yard, would it be easier for you to load trucks in the morning? What roadblocks are you encountering? And so we've gone in on our yards and done, they call them Kaizen events, which is a Lean Six Sigma practice, where we've redesigned the whole footprint of the lumberyard to be more efficient when pulling lumber loads to get trucks in and out quicker, which ultimately leads to better customer service. So and pairing that, like you said, with the HBA, you're making those moves that really impact people. You're not just looking at stuff on paper and just guessing. You're actually doing stuff that's impactful.
Yeah. So kind of on the same line as the HBA is, where do you see, as an associate member, as a longstanding member of the association, kind of where do you see, talking to some of the non-members, what are some of the benefits for you and that truly shine through the association?
Well, I think the first thing is the networking opportunities, just getting out and meeting people, getting to talk to people that normally you probably couldn't have talked to just because of different barriers that are out there in the market. Everybody's busy. So just picking up the phone and cold calling somebody, it's hard to get in front of that person that you need to talk to. Whereas if you're at an event and, it's at the Greenville Drive and you're watching baseball and you see a guy you've been trying to get in touch with for the past 2 weeks, it's a lot easier to go up and approach them there and establish a relationship and just getting to know people, personally before you get to know them professionally. That's a huge benefit that I've seen. And And just like with me sitting on the board, there's lots of our customers that are also on the board that has allowed me the opportunity to get to know them better, spend more time with them. And I think, one thing that I always talk about to prospective new members that really goes unnoticed a lot, because they're not really thinking about it, is the advocacy part of what you're doing, just on the city level, the county level, dealing with all the different zoning issues, impact fees, all the stuff that, we talk about as a board that a custom home builder probably isn't spending a whole lot of time thinking about, but it truly is impacting their business.
Yep.
And it could be very impactful, in a positive way or a negative way based on some of the decisions that are made locally. And they're not there at those county council meetings speaking up for themselves, but our HBA is, and they don't even know it. And so I always remind people of that, how important that is.
Yeah, it definitely is something that, just because the association doesn't put it at the forefront in communication, the association truly is at every council meeting, every planning commission meeting. They're on finance. We want to know from an association standpoint what the pulse on the territories that we cover are. Mm-hmm. That there's three things that every HBA stands on. It's education, advocacy, and networking. And if you're missing one of those pillars, it's kind of the two-legged stool. It doesn't stand for long.
Yeah.
So we focus heavily on that. So I'm excited to hear you bring that comment up. The other big thing is not just the connection standpoint, but then you pull in the education standpoint and bringing in reps from Huber, bringing them in from Zip, bringing them in from whomever, a supplier standpoint, and showing these trades how product can be used. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge one as well. I know we brought Zip in. This was in end of 2020. We had that Zip wall demonstration, and this is going to sound terrible, but I think half of the people weren't fully installing it.
Oh yeah,
perfectly.
Yeah. Right.
Taping a piece of drywall is pretty straightforward. Taping the exterior envelope of your house with zip tape is a hair different.
Yeah.
So
it'll be a little more precise in the way you do it.
Yeah. You can't pre-cut here. You've got to do it this way. Yeah. So those types of opportunities, even bringing Trex in one year, mm-hmm. and showing the hidden fastener system and kind of truly showing how to work the materials that y'all supply, but also customers are demanding.
Right.
I think that's a big benefit. The one thing I do have a question for you on is we touched on events, 75 plus events. What is Greg Gambrell's top 3 HBA events? Builders, trades, realtors. If you're looking for a flooring partner you can trust, look no further. I'm here to tell you about All About Flooring. All About Flooring is a family-owned business with 3 generations of owners that know the flooring business inside and out. They work in residential and commercial projects for both new builds and remodels by providing high-quality customer service and installation for carpet, area rugs, hardwoods, laminate, luxury vinyl, and more. Y'all, they even provide professional carpet, tile, and upholstery cleaning. At All About Flooring, they're more than just a flooring provider. They're your partner in delivering top-tier results that your customers will absolutely love. You can find their website linked in the show notes or visit their 9,000 square foot showroom at 2111 North Pleasantburg Drive. Now, let's get back to the show.
Well, I guess the Bridge Awards is, really important to us. I mean, we're the title sponsor, and it's fun. It's a great, to me, it's a different event than what's typically done in a HBA. Everybody gets to dress up and come out for a fun evening, bring their spouse or partner with them, and have a great time. So that would probably be the one of the highlight. Golf tournaments are always a ton of fun. Obviously, since they sell out in a minute or less.
Yeah.
It seems like, when I have people calling me, asking, hey, can you do me a favor and get me in on the golf tournament? It's a popular event.
Yep.
And then I've always been a fan of the clay shoot, which we've got coming up later this week.
Yep.
Which that's a lot of fun. Again, it's just a great time to get people out there, and you get, as far as a customer, supplier, or vendor interaction, you get a lot of face time at those events too, where you just get to, it's not quick hit. It's not like a traditional networking event where you're just standing around a bar or a restaurant going around, trying to exchange business cards. Those events, you get long, meaningful conversations. As long as you're paired up with somebody that you like and you want to spend the afternoon with. But you've added a lot of fun events too. Just the general networking events, like the one we did at the Greenville Drive earlier this year. I thought was a great event. I always look forward to the annual Oyster Roast Chili Cook-Off that we got coming up here in less than a month. And you've ratchet that up, with the live music and everything. So that's a lot of fun. So, it's kind of a running joke around my office. I'm the one person who comes to most of the events, but I tell everybody, it's like, guys, y'all are missing out. It's like going to happy hour, for me. It's like social hour, it's just a lot of fun. I'm hanging out with people that I enjoy being with, also getting to conduct business at the same time, but then just have fun. So it's all about how you choose to get involved, and there's plenty of opportunities.
That is correct. For the listeners, Bridge Awards is our annual gala. This year, 2025, April 22nd, 650, 700 people, seated black tie dinner. It's an incredible opportunity, and the whole purpose of it is to highlight excellence in craftsmanship. We feature realtors, developers, builders from its production standpoint, semi-production, custom. It truly is a great opportunity for you to put your product out there, get judged on by a third-party peer group, and then see how your product then stands up against the rest of the market. And what I've always been blown away by is people that enter special features. There was one earlier this year, and it was this stunning rock shower. So flagstone shower or stackstone shower. Shower was massive. Well, you entered on one side and you kept walking and you went into your steam sauna on the other side. Mm-hmm. I thought it was one of the coolest designs, and it's in this mountain rustic setting. It's absolutely stunning. But you get to see what people are building in that luxury market. You get to see homes that you wouldn't normally get to see. So be sure, if you're listening, if you're interested in it, reach out to the HBA of Greenville. We'd love to get you more information. But from events to networking to education to growing opportunities for you, the association is always here to help, and we're super excited to have you a part of the HBA of Greenville, Greg.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love being a part of it.
Well, listen, 2025, strong year. We got new parties rolling in. You've got majority in the House and the Senate. So I think some of the big things from national standpoint, you're going to see housing attainability worked on significantly, building regulations reduced, kind of getting back to that pre-legislative change where it started running the regulatory cost up because it's truly pushing people out of the house.
It is, and that's one thing I'm real curious about, and we talk a lot about on our side of the business is affordable housing, if we're ever truly going to get back to having affordable housing, because if you talk about serving that market, that's the luxury, high end. A lot of those homes are second and third vacation homes for people, and a lot of them are just people that have reached a point in their life where they want something really nice, and they're building something extravagant. But I think what people lose sight of is to get there. Those people, most of them, somewhere along the way, started off in affordable housing, and then they were able to take that, get some equity built into it, and keep stepping up. My fear is we've reached a point now to where, because of the lack of affordability, you don't have as many young people coming into, personal home ownership. And somewhere down the road, we're going to hit an impasse where you don't have people that are able to move up to that next step of housing and keep going. And I'm just curious to see, how, as a government we approach it, how as an industry we approach it, because right now it's kind of tongue in cheek a lot of times when people say affordable housing, because what used to be a $250,000 quote unquote starter home is easily going for $500,000 to $600,000 in this market.
Yep.
And it's obviously some changes have to be made. So I'll be curious to see if we're able to do that.
Yeah, I think we will. I think that you'll see the big thing is when government starts adding regulations into development costs, building permit fee increases, impact fees, land development ordinance on acre and a half for sewer, like that's a huge cost contributor. And in our market, for every $1,000 you add to the price of a house, you price out 714 families. Yeah. And conceptually, you think of, all right, it's $1,000 over a 30-year loan, but that's how tight this economy has become for creating that homeownership dream.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see a lot of changes. Power put back on states, less government regulations. That's always my hope. But either way, we're going to continue working for it, continue building home ownership, the dreams, building events. I think if I add any more events, Jenna may actually kill me.
Well, there's one event that we need to talk about getting on the calendar that Jenna's been, really pushing for.
Oh, so. Greg, if you bring up dodgeball.
I had to go there. So.
To me, dodgeball would be super fun, but in my head, all I hear is our general counsel saying, Taylor, this is a liability.
If we can figure out how to take the liability out of it, then it would be a great event.
We'll rent a church out. We'll just do a dodgeball competition, and Jenna will get her wish.
There you go.
I love it. Well, perfect. Well, Greg, as we wrap this up, I greatly appreciate your time today. We thank you for your support of the HBA of Greenville, and if you got any questions, be sure to reach out to us. We're here to help. Thanks for listening to the Think Big podcast. If you can do me two big favors, if you can subscribe to the podcast to continue getting updates whenever new podcasts drop, and also if you can scroll to the bottom of the page and just give this podcast a review. We want to continue pushing it out to more people, sharing what we're talking about, and educating more people in the building industry. I would also like to say a huge thank you to two of our sponsors, All About Flooring and Go Digital. If you're interested in sponsoring the Think Big podcast for 2025, be sure to reach out to the HBA of Greenville today. Thanks.